everybody. This is me, Parth, from the Cricket Hotspot, where we talk cricket. I'm with my co-host Sarthak as usual.
Hey guys.
This week we talk about five things. The first thing is the T20 that had happened between India and England, the current Test match that is going on between Sri Lanka and Australia, and the ICC came up with the nominations for the 2011 awards. We'll talk about our take on that, and the last thing is the BCCI's furor with the Indian government, and we'll talk about the bill, the recent bill that has been in talks.
Before we begin,
Okay.
how was your week?
My week was very difficult. I'm busy at work, so just trying to catch up on my cricket news.
That's the same story everywhere. But even though I'm pretty sure we sneaked a peek on the T20 going on yesterday between India and England and the Test match between Australia and Sri Lanka. You have to keep up with the news, obviously. Come on.
Keep up with. I mean, we don't care about any other news except cricket.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. To share our knowledge with people who did not follow the one.
Yeah. We may not know what's happening with actually Anna Hazare, but we know what's happening with the BCCI.
Absolutely.
Anyways, let's start the talk about the T20 match. How did you find that? I mean, I thought that it was a good match, closely fought match. I think England is going through its golden spell right now. Whatever it touches, it turns into gold. Definitely, India could have done better, but I think it was a good match overall.
I think, England actually managed to hold on their nerves better than India did, so they took home the victory, which was well deserved, I guess. But India had the match at various points of time which they let slip. I think they lost wickets in bundles twice in their innings. First it was after Dravid got out, and then after Dhoni got out. So those middle 3 or 4 wickets and the last 3 or 4 wickets, they just fell for nothing, probably 8 or 10 runs. And I think that cost India quite a lot, probably 10-15 runs. And even while bowling, I think, for me, according to me, what the turning point of the match was Dhoni giving the over to Rohit Sharma. I'm not a big fan of having 5-7 different bowlers bowling in a T20 unless they are adding some variation to it. Rohit Sharma he's not an international level bowler.
But he's not even an IPL level bowler.
But then surprisingly he's been doing well in the IPL. He's picked up some wickets, but you can't really qualify that as a stepping stone for international bowling. So I think that shouldn't have been the case. He should have just stuck with 5 bowlers. Virat Kohli was doing a decent job of the 5th bowler, and there was no point in giving Rohit Sharma the over. That cost us 17 runs, and that could have easily been the turning point of the match.
Let's go from the start. What do you think about Ajinkya Rahane?
From what I saw, he was batting beautifully. I think he was timing the shots really well.
I mean, those pulls reminded me of some of the most glorious hitting that England could have seen in its recent history. That was beautiful.
And it's refreshing to see India finally putting up a fight. That's the main point, I think, out of everything else. Win or lose doesn't really matter. But
I was cheering for every 6 that actually Stuart Broad got hit.
Absolutely.
That was
so
good.
I think India is a little more comfortable right now with the new players. They haven't proven themselves at the test level, so the young players, they are a little more comfortable in the shorter formats of the game, and I think it just comes with experience. So
but actually Rahane's technique looked good, and he looked for some larger formats of the game. Second thing, I think the highlight of the match was, from me, as we talked earlier, was Rahul Dravid hitting 3 sixes, 2 7
who would have seen who would have thought that coming?
Strike rate of 150 from a man who's just debuting at the age of 35 or 36.
37, yeah.
Oh, 37.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that is just tremendous. I mean, I was laughing and I was cheering, not for India, but for Rahul Dravid that time. It was just tremendous.
It was great to see him hit 3 sixes. I think that's one side which was missing.
You would never see a classic Dravid in test matches hitting even just one of those. Not at all.
Yeah.
Even the worst spinners, it's very, very
He did look a little out of place initially when he started, but then he got into the flow, and he hit those good sixes before he got out.
I actually like his IPL batting also, so I mean, I was not surprised that that he would do well, and especially in the form that he's in, he had done well. But Owen Morgan also played very well.
I think that was
That was a
by
different-
far the turning point of the match. His innings, had he not performed, I don't think England stood a chance. The way he actually took control, and obviously he's known for his innovative batting, so his
But
paddle shots.
there weren't many. There was only one or two maybe.
Well, his reverse sweep. Then there was the Dill scoop.
Yeah, well,
And
but as compared to his number of shots that he does, there weren't as many.
the situation was such, right? He didn't really have the luxury of playing that many, but the ones he did play, he pulled it off, which is full credit to him.
Yeah.
And he actually stole the match away from India.
I was actually surprised to see Ashwin not bowl as well as I've seen him bowl, and you would expect a bowler who's India's T20 specialist, not even ODI specialist yet. Although I rank him as India's future Test spinner, but a person who's a T20 specialist to do a better job than that.
That was definitely surprising. I
probably
don't
an
think he
off day.
came to grips with the conditions there.
Yeah.
It was good
Takes
for him to spend some time out there with the practice matches, but I don't think he's still his best self.
Yeah.
So probably one of T20 match was a good warm up, and I hope he performs much better in the one days.
Yeah, and talking about the Indian bowling, I would say that 10 runs remaining in the last over, getting 3 edges to the boundary.
You can't really do much about that.
Really
You can't
do
set a
much.
field for edges, right?
Yeah,
so
you can't really.
it's tough to blame the bowler, but I think on the whole they did a decent job.
Yeah.
Probably 10-15 more runs could have definitely turned the match around.
I was thinking in this match there could be a possibility of a Patel, bowled Patel, caught Patel, off a Patel. So I was.
That is true, actually. That is true.
That is true. Anyways, let's.
See, as Gujus are everywhere, man. You cannot stay away from us.
Yes, well, I am finding out at the cricket hotspot. Let's now talk about the Australia versus Sri Lanka match, which is going on at a pace that it has to catch a train right now.
Second day, third innings already underway, almost about to end, actually.
Almost about to end.
And full credit to Australia.
I mean, the bowlers have bowled very well. I mean, the guy that everybody was making fun of, Lyon, taking 5 wickets.
They were totally. I mean, everyone I think expected Sri Lanka to steamroll over Australia. I mean, if not in batting, then in bowling for sure, because of the spin trio. So it's Randeep, Herat, and Dilshan.
Yeah.
But I was expecting them to have it easy, but they've totally turned it around.
Yeah, they played very, very well. So I still have to see Lyon how he bowls, but taking 5 wickets against one of the most spin friendly teams is definitely an achievement that he will never forget. And that too in actually
Wicket on a debut, first ball. First ball, he took a wicket.
Oh yeah,
Kumar Sangakkara.
Kumar
Sangakkara.
Wow.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Wow.
So that would be a dream wicket actually for any bowler, no matter what match you're playing, what number of match you're playing. If it's your first match and first wicket of the first ball.
Yeah, and
that just makes it extra
probably one
special.
of the more classic batsmen.
Absolutely.
Right now, definitely. Who do you think? It's 283. I mean, as we record, it stumps on day 2. It's 283. 4 wickets remaining for Australia. Lead is 283. So your.
I would still say advantage Australia, because even if Sri Lanka come out to bat, they'll be batting on a third, fourth day wicket, which and if Michael Hussey's statement is anything to go by, he said the first day that he played,
it's the driest
pitch he's ever played, even on the first day. He made that statement, so it definitely won't be easy for Sri Lanka to bat on the third or the fourth day when they come out to bat.
And Gaul generally produces very spin-friendly wickets.
So advantage Australia,
especially chasing over 300 on 4th innings.
Yes.
Whichever day it is, it's almost an astronomical challenge. You need somebody like a Sehwag or maybe a Dilshan to blow it away, and then you can have your classical batsman.
Yeah, if Dilshan fires, then that's a different game.
Yeah.
But if they lose a couple of early wickets, Australia all the way.
Yeah. So this is our news. Cricket roundup right now. We'll talk about the news that has been around in the next segment.
Welcome back, guys. So moving on to our next segment, we are going to talk about the ICC nominations
Yeah.
for the Cricketer of the Year, etc.,
All
etc.
all the nominations. One thing that I wasn't surprised by is the number of Englishmen in the nominations, which is a good sign for a team that is coming up, and the average age of these Englishmen is also very young. So England's there to stay, as we all know. But it was good that for a change, these nominations reflect the current strength of a team. So let's go from bottom to up. Who would you give your Spirit of Cricket award? Would you give it to MS Dhoni's recall, or would you give to Jacques Kallis walking 3 times after just checking the opposition fielder, has he caught it or not?
Callis took the decision on his own to walk.
Yeah.
Dhoni, although final decision was his, had a lot of brains working on it. He had Strauss and Flower actually request him to call Bell
And it was
back,
T.
and
If it wasn't T, he wouldn't have.
absolutely.
So,
So I definitely think Callis on that one.
but I would say that MS Dhoni would get it, but I would want Kallis to get it on this one. Umpire of the year,
Probably Aleem Dar.
Me too, Aleem
Yeah.
Dar. I mean, I think I talked about this on the first podcast. I still can't remember that Ashes Brisbane dismissal on day 2, was it? It was England's first innings. Strauss looked out, and that was just a brilliant decision. He was not out, and Aleem Dar gave it not out. T20 international performance of the year.
Probably, I would say Tim Southee is 5 for 18.
Yeah, me too. That's
Against
the only one
Pakistan.
that actually sticks out in my mind
Yeah.
right now. So
Then that was a good performance, and I think Tim Southee is a really good
upcoming bowler. Yeah.
young blood, but he knows he's mature in the head. He's a young
Yeah.
player, but he's mature in the head. He knows he doesn't crack under pressure, and he knows where to pitch the ball.
One thing that I like about Tim Southee is that whenever you need bowler to bowl in the tough situation, he's always held his hand up and said, "Yes, I will bowl." And that's why you see these rewards. I think against Pakistan in that ODI, he got in that T20. I think he got a hat trick also in that one. So very, very good. I mean, one to watch for the future. Associate Player of the Year.
This definitely would be a tough one, but I think it's going to be a two-way tie between Kevin O'Brien and Paul Sterling.
Paul Sterling, you would go.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
been really consistent playing for Ireland. He's been playing really
Yeah.
consistently, and of all the matches, he's been scoring, I think, the maximum runs for their team.
I think my Cricketer of the Year, no doubt, really. I mean, Associate Cricketer of the Year would have to be Kevin O'Brien, just on the basis of that one inning.
That one innings that changed.
And
Yeah.
definitely very destructive batsman. Emerging player.
Tough call, but I'd go with either Bravo or Riaz.
I would go with the West Indian leg spinner,
Bishu.
Deepinder Bishu. He played well against India. He's played well against the Test match against Pakistan in the Test matches. Like the looks of him, he still has a lot to go, but I like his attitude for a leg spinner. You don't get many leg spinners these days, so I would go with Bishu. He's one for the future. ODI player. Now we're getting the three biggest awards.
the-
ODI Player of the Year. 4 nominations are Amla, Gambhir, Sangakkara, Watson.
Tough call. Tough
Very
call.
tough call. Very tough call.
I would think
Definitely.
Amla or Watson.
Amla or Watson. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would also have to. I mean, if I were to give 2 choices, it will be Amla and Sangakkara. But given one, I would go with Amla. Amla.
Shane Watson, man, he's going to take it. You know it. You know it.
Well, I'm not a big fan of Shane Watson. Test Player of the Year. 4 options: James Anderson, Alistair Cook, Jacques Kallis, Jonathan Trott.
Without a doubt, Alistair Cook.
Alistair Cook.
Without a doubt.
I think so too. but I won't be surprised if Anderson gets it.
There is no way. I think out of the four of them, if I had to rate, Anderson would be fourth, Cook first, Callis second, Trott third.
I mean, Cook definitely deserves it. I mean, he scored loads and loads of runs for England, and my pick would also be Cook. Yeah,
it's either going to be Cook or Callis, one of them.
Yeah,
they've had a fabulous run in Test matches throughout the year, in the last 12 months, and Cook phenomenal. So
phenomenal. There's no, I mean, stats in this.
I think this is one of the easier categories to choose from.
Yeah,
it's definitely.
I think a person who scored 776 runs and then 390 runs in back-to-back series.
Yeah,
it's
no
a golden run to say the least.
Moving on to the Cricketer of the Year.
The biggest award. Okay, so
the
Amla,
big prize.
Cook, Tendulkar, Trott.
I think in this one it would have to be.
I would go with Tendulkar. If I were in the committee, I would go with Tendulkar because, first of all, it's not just ODI or T20. ODI or Test cricket. You have to compare both of them, and Tendulkar has had a phenomenal run last year. I mean, 2 centuries in the World Cup, in the World Cup winning team, a brilliant series in South Africa. Then, just tremendous run. I would go with Tendulkar.
I think I would agree with you on that one. It's Tendulkar would be my first option, and
Cook's been good, but in Test matches, he's been amazing. In
my
test
second
matches.
option would definitely be Amla. Hashim Amla, because he's performed across formats, which is what you need for Cricketer of the Year. You have to perform across formats, not in the same format.
But he didn't perform in the World Cup.
Well, World Cup
and Trott performed both in Test matches and in the biggest. He was the highest scorer for
England.
Yeah,
he did well in the World Cup. But before that, if you see, Hashim Amla has done really well.
He's been tremendous. I really like his batting.
We'll see when the nominations. When the winners are announced.
Yeah. I forgot, I didn't forget. I choose to do this last. People's Choice Award. Amla, Dhoni, Gale, Sangakkara, Trott. I know if People's Choice is, we know which country has the population to make it, to take their player ahead. But if you were to choose one, who would...
I think one man that I really enjoy watching would be Chris Gale, for sure. And although he hasn't played a lot of quality international cricket over the years.
Well, if this was IPL awards, he would definitely get it.
It's just great watching him play, watching him interact with people. Even when India was playing West Indies in the Caribbean.
It's actually very fun seeing his tweets also.
Yeah.
He's a very, very entertaining man.
My choice would definitely be Chris Gale.
2 people I would go with. One is Sangakkara and the other one is Dhoni. Sangakkara is definitely in cricket right now. Sangakkara and Dravid are the 2 most statesman-like cricketers. You can say that. Really like. So if I was to just pick one, it would be Dhoni, but Sangakkara would come close. So last thing, Test Team of the Year. Do you agree with it? Would you like to change something? Change the name?
Just for our audience, the Test team in the order of batting that was announced is Alistair Cook, Hashim Amla opening, Jonathan Trott 1 down, Sachin takes the number 4 position, Sangakkara number 5, who is also the captain and the wicketkeeper for the team, AB de Villiers coming in at number 6, Jack Callis at number 7, Stuart Broad number 8, Swan number 9, Dale Steyn number 10, James Anderson number 11, and Zaheer Khan as a 12th man.
One thing that I would really like to change in this is swap Broad for Zaheer.
I would agree with you.
Yeah,
I would definitely agree with you.
Zaheer, because Broad has just had one good series. Zaheer has been the linchpin of India's bowling attack for the last 2 years.
Across formats, again.
Across formats, but this is a Test team. But across formats, he's been good.
Zaheer Khan definitely, because it adds the variety of a left armour in the team.
Yeah.
You have Dale Steyn, you have Jacques Kallis, you have Stuart Broad, you have James Anderson. 4 right-handed pace bowlers. There is no point. There is no variation in the team.
Yeah.
So you need a left armour, and I would definitely swap Broad for Zaheer Khan.
Zaheer Khan, yeah.
Because Broad coming in at number 9 is of no use, or number 8 is of no use when you have Jacques Kallis batting at number 7.
Yeah.
That is a dream team. If my team had Jacques Kallis walking in at number 7, I would never lose a match.
Yeah.
So
But another thing that is very surprising. I mean, not surprising. If you compare this team to the team of last year, you would see a lot more Indians there. And this surprisingly, only one Indian makes into the top 11. So surprised. Is
Um,
it too? Is it too based on the current series or
it is always a little myopic as far as ICC selections are concerned, because
Rahul
how
Dravid?
how else would you? Well, Rahul Dravid again would counter your own argument that he only has that one good series, West Indies and England.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I'm saying, if you're looking through myopic eyes, you, I mean, there wasn't a better batsman than Rahul Dravid last.
that is true, but well, yeah, as I mentioned, I think these awards are a little more myopic, and it's whatever stays in the public memory that happened in the recent past
Yeah.
is given a little more importance than something else which happened
Yeah.
a few months ago. Moving on to our next segment,
Yeah.
guys.
This news is India news related to BCCI and how the Indian government has now proposed a bill called National Sports Bill 2011. This bill tries to regulate BCCI for the first time. BCCI would have to seek 25% of its posts to former players, which is very high, and not definitely it does not do as much now. It also puts a very interesting 70-year age bar for all administrators, and limits the appointments for 2 consecutive terms. We'll talk about all of them after a while, and then it also brings BCCI into the anti-doping agency, which it was refusing to do, and players' body in India were refusing. The biggest one is BCCI being open to the Indian public, being accountable to the
Yes.
Indian public. Yeah.
I think the main intention of the bill is to seek a little more transparency in the operations of the BCCI, and I would definitely say it's a good move, because BCCI has been far operating like an autonomic body,
Yeah.
not accountable to anyone.
Yeah.
No transparency in their finances,
Yeah.
how much they're getting, how much is going out, what is going where.
Yeah.
So I
Tax
think
rebates
that
and
definitely needs a little more transparency in their processes,
Yes.
and the move to bring them under the Right to Information Act in India.
especially with things like scams like the Commonwealth scam that happened, and its own IPL scam that happened or the alleged scam that happened in 2010.
Technically.
Technically. Well, we don't want to be sued by the BCCI. We are a small organization. So it's definitely an interesting thought, at least to be brought up in front of the media, and thought that has not been brought up enough is to make sure that BCCI is controlled. It's the biggest it's the biggest sport in India. I mean, this body controls the biggest sport in India, and you really need to make sure that, first of all, it's giving something back. Even if it's not giving something back, at least it's transparent. At least you can see what's happening in the body.
And it's good. Sorry to cut you off, but it's good. The points that you made were really important, because I think a lot of politicians have
Infiltrated.
of late that's a good term actually,
Yeah.
have infiltrated the BCCI,
Yeah.
and they just treated like government posts. They
Yeah.
are not ready to leave their chair.
Yeah,
Let's see.
it's the dadagiri
Absolutely.
that has gone through. 2 consecutive term is the best rule that I think every organization should abide by. Every administrator should only be there for 2 months, two terms, because only then you can get some progress. If you're there forever, then you can't really progress anywhere.
Because you take your position for granted, and
Yeah.
there is absolutely no motivation for you to be
Yeah.
doing better.
Yeah, and also, I mean, as we expected, BCCI has fought back to that claim, saying that we are not a part. I mean, we do not take any money from the Indian government, and but the fact of the matter is they get so many tax incentives, and they also get to buy land at the lowest cost possible to build cricket grounds or to build facilities for cricket in India. That's definitely taking away something from the people. So you really need to be accountable for that.
And also the other point that you made, that it seeks 25% representation by ex players. I think that is a very important point, because as we said, the politicians have taken over the BCCI, and a lot of them are there without any knowledge of how cricket is run, without any knowledge of what cricket is about. And the ex-players are in the best position because they have been through this before. They know what the system is about, and they know what needs to be changed when they were playing, what was right, what was wrong, according from their point of view.
I will be hesitant to give players all the control, but I think 25% is a good number, because you still need to take care of other things. I mean, if you play, it doesn't mean that you know everything about how to bring the games there, or how to, you just know player side of things.
My point being, they know how the system, where the system's flaws are.
Yeah.
So they know how to deal with it, and they
Yeah.
might be able to steer it in the right direction. All right, guys, moving on to our next segment, we will just do an overview, or sort of the preview for the England versus India ODI series. 5-match series, India coming from a fresh whitewash, 4-0 lost in the tests, lost
And
the one
1-0
off
in the
T20
T20,
international. 5-match ODI series, how do you think it's shaping up from India's point of view?
Well, I think the luck is not with India, but I would say I would still be confident this team is a good team. We just won the World Cup in this format. Let's not forget. I would go, if the there is good, 3-2 India.
You stole my prediction.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to say 3-2 India too.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair call. No matter what happened in the test matches and the T20 One Day International. In fact, if T20...
Well, the half of the team has changed, more than half of the
if
team.
T20 was any indication, that India definitely has a good chance.
Yeah.
Again, as we said, how the teams changed, so I wouldn't rely on what happened in the test matches.
And thanks to injury, most of the team has changed. Now
I definitely have more faith in this team than the tired legs that were playing in the test matches.
Yeah.
But again, you cannot counter how big a void is left by Sehwag, Gambhir, Yuvraj, and Zaheer Khan not playing.
And actually Harbhajan.
Harbhajan, I'm not really a big fan of either ways.
Well,
it's actually
in ODI
one positive.
Well.
There's one positive, that Harbhajan is not playing. I don't think he's a great ODI bowler in any ways. So it's better that Ashwin is getting the opportunity ahead of Harbhajan Singh.
That's true.
So that's one positive for India. But they've lost 4 frontline first-class players, in Sehwag, Gambhir, Yuvraj, and Zaheer Khan.
But this team still has the capability to be number one. I mean, to dominate the series. The first two, it is difficult for India because they are in North England. Weather is quite cold, has started to become quite cold at this time of the year. But I think Oval, Lords, and Cardiff definitely can be India's home grounds.
Well, if India are 2-0 down, it's going to be tough to come back from there. But in any case, leaving that aside, I think India has young blood, fresh batsmen, fresh fielders, which is really important in limited over internationals, because you need to be your best on the field.
Yeah.
You can't just bat well, bowl decent, and forget about it. You have to be your best in the field, because games could be won or lost in the field. So I definitely think with the inclusion of some of the younger players, definitely makes India a better fielding side. And as far as batting is concerned, I think they have got enough exposure now with the 3 practice matches and 1 T20 international. Everyone having got a chance to play. I think the stage is set for India to come back strongly into the one-day series.
Your predictions on key players for the first 2 or 3 ODIs?
I, not even the first 2 or 3. I'll give you my pick for the man of the series.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Virat Kohli.
You'll say Virat Kohli?
Yeah.
Okay. Brave pick, definitely. I like the looks of Ajinkya Rahane. I'd like to see how he does in the larger format of the game. At least for the first 2 matches, Ajinkya Rahane and Rahul Dravid. They are definitely my picks.
Absolutely. So yeah, I would still stick with Virat Kohli. I think he's my pick as far as India is concerned. From the English side, I'm a fan of Owen Morgan.
Owen Morgan, yeah.
And he again showed his value in T20 International, so I would probably pick him, yes.
I would go with Broad and Cook, since you have taken Owen Morgan already, but I'll go with Broad and Cook, yeah. Now, this is our final segment. This is where we talk about the moment of the week as usual. This week's moment is the Gary Sobers hitting 6 sixes, was it, at Swansea, Cardiff?
Against Malcolm Nash, the unfortunate bowler.
Yeah.
It was first time in the history of cricket that a batsman hit 6 consecutive sixes or 6 sixes in an over.
Yeah.
It was a feat repeated by
Ravi
Shastri in one of the domestic matches in India against a bowler from Baroda. That's incidentally where I'm from.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
I'm so happy.
But in any case, Gary Sobers, great all-rounder, batsman, bowler, of all types actually. He bowled medium pace, bowled spin.
He was the eternal all-rounder.
All-rounder, the absolute.
Because he bowled. Okay, let's go over his cricketing abilities. Okay, batsman scoring nearly 8,000 Test runs, many more in first-class cricket. He was a medium left-arm bowler, or actually as fast as Dennis Lilly. People tell in the books that I read, and he was a left arm off spinner, and
could also bowl left arm spin, with wrist spin.
Left arm wrist spin. Amazing slip fielder. I mean, what more can you ask from a cricketer? I mean, that is just a deadly combination. I mean, you need to have 5 different people to cover that man's roles in the team, what he can do.
Absolutely, the one man giving you so many options, and I think it's amazing. And
very good.
That's one of the reasons why I have always wished to see. That's one player that I would wish to see more of. Him alongside Malcolm Marshall have been my 2 favorites who I haven't seen a lot of.
Yeah, so, I mean, he would be definitely very, very good to see, and
he would absolutely thrive in the conditions today, like the shorter formats of the game, be it one-day international cricket or be it T20 internationals. Although in his only one-day international appearance, he scored a 0 and just took 1 wicket.
Well, you
that was towards the end of his career.
Absolutely, just one match. I mean, it is us who are actually missing the talents of Gary Sobers. Definitely a great man, great cricketer. So this is us at the Cricket Hotspot, signing off for our 7th podcast. Hope to see you. Hope to talk to you soon. Again, you can follow us at the Cricket Hotspot on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at Cricket Hotspot. We will definitely bring you the review of the first 2 or 3, and then the preview of the last 2 ODIs in next edition of this podcast. Until that time, see you soon.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us. This is me, Sarthak, signing off. And as usual, do not forget to leave your comments, your feedback, whatever it is. We will definitely get back to you. And just to send a special shout out to people who have been following us, who've been listening to our podcast. I just checked and we saw that we have fans all the way in Ireland, from Tamil Nadu, from Maharashtra, from Salt Lake City, Utah. So it's
very exciting to see.
It's very humbling, and it's really exciting to get so much admiration from all over the globe.
Yeah, and we're trying to bring this podcast now to BlackBerry and to the Windows marketplace for Zune players. So hopefully we will not discriminate ourselves to Apple
fanboys only.
Apple fans, although we are one, but we still like to stay open to the others.
Thank you guys for all the love, and please spread the word, and we will see you again next week, and hope you have a great week till then.
Yes, okay. See you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.